All right, man. Detroit Lions defeat New York Giants to win their third straight. Um, you know, that was a game usually after gaining a little bit momentum, kind of would be an SOL moment. Excuse me, but they get the job done. And, big day for Jamal Williams, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Swift got one on the ground late in the game, and the receivers made plays when they had to. New York receivers didn't make plays, other than Wan'Dale Robinson. There was some drops here and there. The fumble at the end of the game that kind of pretty much iced it. It really was Daniel Jones that was the problem. That's what the Lions seemed like their defensive plan was to let Daniel Jones beat you. That was the game plan. Let Daniel Jones beat you. Simple as that. Let's let Daniel Jones beat us. We're not gonna let Saquon beat us. Don't chuck plays by Daniel Jones. They can beat us. We're gonna be in zone. We mix it up a little bit. We'll be in zone, and we're not gonna let Saquon Barkley be a factor. And that's what happened today. They shut Saquon absolutely down. They gang tackled him. They had gap discipline. And Daniel Jones ate. He had seven carries, 50 yards, but they live with that. A lot of times, the end will forget Daniel Jones can get outside the run, but I just think they were so keen on stopping Saquon Barkley that they let Daniel Jones get his. And they live with that. And they won. You live with 7 for 50. You let Saquon get 20 carries for almost 200 yards. You're not winning the game. Then Saquon wasn't no factor in the passing game. 2 catches for 13 yards. I mean, you call that a good day at the office. Yes, Slayton and Robinson and Richie James scored a touchdown at the end. You know what I'm saying? They made some plays here and there. Galladay made a couple catches here and there, but you live with it. I think Hodges or Hodgins, whatever his name is, he was the one that fumbled the ball. Today Hudson recovered it. And then my only issue with the Lions offensively is Ben Johnson is getting predictable with throwing on first down and running on second down. I like to see him be a little bit more committed to the run game, especially when you got a lead. I would love to see him be a lot more committed. And run the ball and not pass it as much. But there was an offsides on Sewell they missed, but it was an offsides on the Giants later in the game they missed. So I mean, they was it'd be sometimes it look like they letting them play. Sometimes they call it a little bit tight. DJ Shark, he wasn't a factor today. Coming back from injury, I think they targeted him only one time in my mind I can remember, and that was on like a deep third down. So he was targeted once, so he pretty much was decoying out there. That's what it was. He pretty much was decoying. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, Raymond made some plays, like the screen pass he caught and fell down and got up and ran and made the first down. So that was another big play. They just made plays when they had to. You got to remember too, Giants secondary receiver core beat up. The Lions secondary receiver core is beat up too. Jeff Okudah left with a head injury. And obviously, DJ Shark was decent decoy. Josh Reynolds was ruled out yesterday, and Jameson Williams. I mean, we can expect them back in any time the next 2 or 3 weeks. So they got rid of T.J. Hockenson, and you find out why. They just wasn't going to be committed to building an offense around T.J. Hockenson. It was as simple as that. They just were not going to be committed to building an offense around him. I say it again. They just were not going to be committed to building an offense around Hockenson. When he was going to demand the amount of money that he deserved and he should demand by being in Detroit. If you're not willing to make him the star of the offense, then in particular the receiving game, then you have to move on. What they was asking him to do, Brock Wright, James Mitchell, and everybody else can do it. They want to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to get the ball into their playmakers. Tom Kennedy made a critical catch again this week. I'd like to see him get some more airtime, to more play time. So, but Justin Jackson ran physical, just like DeAndre Swift. Still, probably should be resting him still. I'll let him get as much rest as possible. But when you don't have Craig Reynolds, I mean, then you have to dig deeper in your bag. You bring Jamar Jefferson back or a guy with Inabuki back. So they're not willing to do that. So you need a third back to come in while you rest them. But overall today wasn't no dumb coaching issues. I think the only thing that you really question offensively, is offensively. They're becoming very predictable when they approach the run on first down and pass on second down. There needs to be, some type of mix up, and they kind of fall in love with the misdirection trap run plays. Sometimes you like to see them early on until Jamal Williams get warmed up and Swift and Jackson get warmed up. You would like to see him go right down the middle and smack people in the mouth. I mean, early on, Jonah Jackson got manhandled by Leonard Williams, and I said, "Ooh, it might be a long day." But the Lions' offensive line did what they did what they was paid to do. They tamed interior linemen, Leonard Williams, Dexter Jackson. They tamed Kayvon Thibodeaux, all of them. And Jared Goff was not sacked one time today. Daniel Jones was sacked twice, and the only reason Daniel Jones probably one sack more, his ability to move in the pocket. And then you had to respect Saquon Barkley, so you couldn't play the pass, or you couldn't play the run on the way to the pass. You had to respect, your gap integrity. And then again, don't have Charles Harris, didn't have Josh Pascal, and A. Hutchinson, got some help today from Aleem McNeil, rushing the passer. So. As they can kind of get healthy over the next few weeks, you get Romeo back, you get Pascal back, you get Charles Harris back, whenever he get ready. I mean, I'm kind of in favor of them bringing another back in, probably putting DeAndre Swift, on ice for a few weeks, letting them rest as much as can, and then for the stretch run, using them down the stretch run, because you're getting great production out of Williams and out of Justin Jackson. So that could be an opportunity for them. But Aiden Hutchinson again, a big pick, again a big fumble recovery to ice the game, and Will Harris forced the fumble. So they out there playing. Defense coming together. Just a few weeks ago, y'all was ready to fire everybody. And I told y'all, remain patient. When you got guys doing this for the first time, and I know Dan Campbell was considered interim head coach of Miami, but this is different when you the guy. You got to let them learn by fire. You can't cut them off every time something look bleak. You got to let them learn by trial by fire. And it's as simple as that. Because I asked y'all who they were going to get better than, Dan Campbell. They're not going to go out there and spend the money and be paying Matt Patricia, pay Dan Campbell, go out there and get somebody like Sean Payton. They ain't their MO. And when you got to get a coach in there like Sean Payton, right, then you got to upgrade your facilities, upgrade your scouting team and everything. That's why people say they don't want to spend the money. Because they know once you spend the money on a head coach like Sean Payton and give him control of the front office and the team on the coaching line, then you got to give him everything he needs, and that's facilities. That's probably stand on quick turnarounds if you're going out west or wherever down south, whatever. You're gonna have to spend that money on new facilities, weight rooms, and everything. So I mean, obviously they turn around and gotta allow Brad Holmes to learn from his mistakes as well too, and the only major mistake that he's made so far is just drafting injured players. Pascal came back from an injury. He was injured at the end of the Kentucky season last year. He was injured during the Senior Bowl. He got injured during camp, and he came back, got injured again with a knee. So we got to get guys that's durable that can contribute. Imagine if he drafted guys that can contribute at the level that some of his guys like Kirby Joseph with another pick today. Imagine if he got these guys healthy or drafted durable guys. I mean, that wouldn't be no question in my mind. The Lions would be running the North. And then the turning point in the season was when they lost to Minnesota. Their morale went all the way down, and Dan Campbell, kept this, righted the ship, kept the wheel straight, and and the guys they bought in and believe. They bought in and they believe. So, sometimes it's not always a knee-jerk reaction. Sometimes you got to give guys an opportunity to learn on the job if you're going to give entry-level guys the position. But, only issue I have with them today is that I would like to see them kind of commit to the run, a little bit more earlier. And I like to see them commit to the run straight down the middle a little bit more. They're going in a straight line. But other than that, it was brilliant play calling by Ben Johnson. He's doing what makes Jared Goff, what's Jared Goff's strength. But I still think at some point they got to move into the future with a quarterback. And if that's, the Rams, I believe. Hold on, a lot of y'all. Yeah, they lost. They came up short against the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans today. So, I mean, if they keep losing, get a top 5 pick, go ahead. But if it's Jaden Daniels, if it's the kid from Florida, if it's whoever it is, Lamar Jackson, whoever it may be, they still got to find a future at quarterback. I think the preference with everybody is a quarterback with wheels. So, I mean, that is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist for more videos like this. Check out the Detroit Lions post-game reaction playlist, Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Link tree, the first link in the description. 3 straight and rolling into Thanksgiving versus Buffalo, which I think Buffalo end up getting the win today anyway. So after, kind of coming out shaky versus Cleveland. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. That's 3 straight. Let's get going towards Thanksgiving. Peace.